It's Sunday and it's time for my weekly mental health vlog, when I remember to do it weekly. I've had a really busy week with a lot going on. I got to meet my psychiatrist for the first time in person. When COVID came and went, they allowed a lot of people to do virtual appointments with doctors. So when I was looking for a new psychiatrist, the one that handles the meds, when I first met with her, and every appointment I've had since then has all been virtual. But the laws are now changing that if you have a doctor that is prescribing you a controlled substance, and mifocalin is considered a controlled substance, you have to meet with them in person at least every 3 months. Luckily, she's not too far away. Otherwise, I have a really hard time driving and parking and waiting for a 10-minute appointment. But I digress. It was actually really nice to meet her. She is such a sweetheart. She's just such a great person, and I like her. I like her staff. So seeing her a couple times a year in person, not a big deal. Also went to my new dentist, which is a different location but the same chain of dentist, and I had a lot of problems with my other location. So when I signed up for this one, I said, please pull all the x-rays, all the records, everything you need from this other location. You're all the same company, shouldn't be a problem. And I said all that when I made the appointment. When I showed up, did you get the link that we sent you this morning for new patient registration? I said, and I'm not doing that. And she's like, well, I'm like, because I have records at the other place. Like, I just had, x-rays done in May, and they're like, oh, well, they're gonna wanna do their own x-rays. I'm like, no. I'm like, I've already had x-rays done twice this year. Insurance is not gonna pay for a third one. Y'all all share the records. You can just get them from there. So they did tell me that there was like one particular x-ray photo that they didn't have that done in May. And I'm like, okay, great, we can take that one. That's it, that's all I'll get you. It was funny because I really reminded myself of my mom. Like when I was in high school, there was a teacher that, for once, my sister didn't like. Ooh, she was the issue, not me, yay. Anyway, I digress. And Mrs. Clark, the typing teacher, I remember her. I had her too. I didn't like her either. Anyway, there was some issue that she had with my sister, and mom had to intervene. And mom, let's see, this would have been late 80s, early 90s. Picture Beverly Goldberg from the Goldbergs, but not as colorful, because she's crazy. My mom also looked crazy. Still, whatever, but my mom was more professional. But Beverly Goldberg meets a professional is a good tone down. Okay. But Beverly Goldberg gets what she wants. Mom, we've continued to laugh about this to this day, tapped her little fingernails on the desk. I have a problem with this. That is usually all that has to be said when mom is not happy. I have a problem with this. So anyway, we say that to this day. So I felt like after I dealt with the dentist, I was like, I totally pulled my mom on that one, because I tapped my fingers on the counter, and she was like, well, we can't get those other records. I'm like, sure you can, you just gotta try. It was totally just the same mindset of, I have a problem with this, and you're gonna fix it. Okay, anyway. So I got to meet my psychiatrist and got a new dentist, got my teeth cleaned. Hope you look great. Yay. They look the same, but they're cleaner, so there you go. Crazy week. It was my fiance's birthday on yesterday, actually, and we were going out with a bunch of friends next weekend. So last night we decided to just kind of make it he and I, and we went out to a couple of our favorite places to go out in bars and whatnot, and we thought they were having events, and the events weren't what we thought they were. So I felt kind of bad, but he still had a good time. We ended the evening at a social club, and got home very late, but it was a good time. We got him a grill for my mom and my son and I. My son, like he put any money in, but my mom and I got him a grill for his birthday because we don't have one here. And I put that together today, and it looks really nice, and it's actually a pretty nice grill. So I opened the box. I'm like, where's the instructions? This is a really nice grill. Where are the instructions? And even like the owner's manual says, please put together the assembly instructions per the book. Book was not included. I had to go online and find the directions, which was great. I got it together, but looking at how many pieces I had to like unpack, even my fiance was like, maybe we should get somebody on TaskRabbit to come put this together. I'm like, let's see how far we get. But nope. And like at some point he's like, do you need my help? I'm like, I think this is a one-person job. And it was a one-person job. More than one person trying to help would have been just standing there watching the other person. And he was doing his own thing. He actually replaced 2 lights that were in our primary bathroom that were not wired very well. Quelle surprise, something not done well in this house. Was not wired very well, and they were flickering. So once we took the light fixture down and saw that it was just 2 wires hanging out of the ceiling, no box, no nothing, we decided we just need to replace these and put something more supportive and stable in the ceiling. So he took care of that today. He's great at that kind of shit. I am not. I helped him clean up the drywall dust. That was my part in that. So we both had projects today, and I mean, that's part of new home ownership. You have lots of projects and you do them. We did finally get some rain this week, which I was very grateful for. There were 2 storm squalls that came through late in the week. One somehow missed us completely. Everyone around me is talking about this horrible storm, blowing trash cans over, deluge of rain. We're right in the middle of all of that. Not a sprinkle. Who knew? Or go figure. And then the next day we got a storm, and we did get some really much needed rain. Like the ground is still, I hate the word moist, but the ground is still damp. So it's so nice because it's been so dry. Like people's foundations are shifting. Like it's been that kind of drought. I'm sure ours has too, because I've had questions about the foundation here from day one. But I also got some paperwork signed this week, some very important paperwork that I was very excited to sign and get notarized and get that to my lawyer to file in the courts. So one step closer to divorce. So there is a light at the tunnel, at the end of the tunnel, and it's nice to finally be able to see it. There have been some other projects that we've done around the house. My fiance and my son and I painted our living room. It is a beautiful color of blue. It's really rich and bold, but the space is bigger so it can handle it. It's a Sherwin-Williams color called Azure Tide, if you want to go and look that up. My son helped for approximately half an hour before he was bored and done. He is on my shit list right now, and he is basically grounded until his second marriage. He's just getting out of a series of weeks of restriction for lying. His restriction was lifted on Friday. Picked him up at Friday, and while I'm in driveline waiting for him, the teacher comes to me with him. There was an incident during driveline. There's evidently a kid at school that's not the greatest, and he is absolutely a bully. And I can tell by how upset my son gets that I know those feelings. I know that anger. I know what it feels like to be bullied like that. And I guess the kid was making fun of a student by calling them transgender. I don't know if the student was transgender, but he was making fun of them by using that as a derogatory term, and that really irritated my son. My son's got long hair and a slender frame, and that's often something that's said to him, like, oh, you're a girl, oh, you're transgender, oh, blah blah blah. And or he even with us, he gets misgendered all the time. oh, would your daughter like blah, blah, blah? That's my son. So he tries to pretend like it doesn't get to him, but based on him throwing the kid down to the ground and pinning his arm behind his back, I'm thinking it's a little bit more sensitive than he leads on. The student that ended up on the floor said that my son punched him. My son swears he did not punch him. There was another witness that was able to corroborate, that will be able to corroborate one way or the other, but his parents had already picked him up in the afternoon after all this happened. So we won't know more about that until Monday. But the teacher did say that my son might get in-school suspension. My son is a little upset. And honestly, I'm not as upset as I should be about that. Because as much as I need my son to find better ways to manage his anger, I've been there. I've been that. And as I don't agree with the fact that he snapped and he went to violence, but the fact that he was defending another student, I have a hard time being mad at that. However, so I did call my ex and we talked about the incident, and we decided that we were not going to undo him getting his stuff back this week until we heard back from the school on Monday, but that we would absolutely be dealing with the aggression issues. And I finally got my ex on board that my son needs some counseling that he and I are not qualified to give him. So he is finally on board with that, which honestly I'm really excited about, because my son needs some guidance and some help dealing with the navigation of all of these new puberty feelings, plus the difficult life that he already has, or the different life that he already has with a broken family and a non-stereotypical family. And also being in a school that is a melting pot of nations and status, economic, social economic status, there you go, and backgrounds, and can be challenging. So he needs help navigating that, and it's way beyond any level of support that I can give him or help that I can give him. He did lie 3 times this weekend that I caught all at the same time, and I did lose my shit, because I'm like, you just got ungrounded for lying. And they weren't even things worth lying about. Did you get your shower this morning like you said you were going to? Yes. Later in the day. You got your shower this morning, right? Yeah. As we're getting ready to leave to go to my fiance's birthday dinner and then to take my son home, I'm like, did you get a shower this morning? Yeah. So if I go upstairs right now, I'm not gonna find 2 perfectly folded towels from when I did laundry this week. I'm gonna find one that's wet and water on the floor, right? Because, hanging up a wet towel is just too hard. You can tell on his face, I'm busted. So there were 2 other things that I had been asking him about all day long. And I said, were those lies? And I got the same face. Lost my shit. And I'm frustrated. My ex is frustrated. My fiance is frustrated. So I'm sure my ex's fiance is frustrated. We had another come to Jesus meeting with him. This has got to stop. Why? What do you gain from lying about these things? So it's the ODD flaring up. No, ODD. Oppositional defiance disorder. So that mixed with the ADHD, mixed with preteen hormones, not great, but it's something that's got to get under control, because there's not a great path for him when you just lie to get what you want. He's also, oh my God, so he was wearing gym shorts and he's walking around with an erection. And I'm like, buddy, no one needs to see that. I'm like, it's not, and I don't want to add any sexual shame, like at all. Like I never want to do any kind of body dysmorphia or shame for him at all. But I'm just like, you're not wearing underwear, you're wearing gym shorts. When our, penis gets erect or firm, it's not something that we need to show off, or we should be showing off. So, try at least to put underwear on, because I don't want to see that. I don't need to see that. No one needs to see that. Little gherkin. But the last thing I want to talk about today is I got a call this morning, which I didn't answer because it was 8:30 and I was up late, and it's Sunday. I don't answer the phone at 8:30 in the morning, but it was my sister. So when I woke up much later and saw that I missed a call from her at 8:30, I needed to give her a call back. She wanted to let me know that my father's in the hospital. And the first words out of my mouth is he gonna die? Because it's like, to me, I've mourned him. He's dead. It's like, I know that when he dies, I will need to be there for my mom and my sister and my aunt to help take care of houses or moving things and throwing things away and whatever. So I've got to figure out what I want to do when that happens. But I'm not going to be like rushing down to mourn if something were to happen, because that's already done. He's dead to me. I know that he exists, but I don't acknowledge him as really part of my family at all, except for the fact that things that happen to him do impact people that I love. So, it's gallbladder or something. It's not something that's going to kill him. But and then my mom called me later to tell me, and it's really weird because I have zero emotion about it, because I was even talking to my fiance about it. I'm like, I just don't feel a damn thing, because they're going to do surgery, they're going to cut him open, they're going to whatever, and they'll put him back together, and then they'll put him back to his little miserable life. And I just don't give a shit. I'm like, okay, let me know if he dies. I'll plan accordingly. But yeah, that pretty much confirmed it for me that I've totally closed everything I needed to on that chapter. So, I mean, I'm not going to be a dick about it to my family, but I don't care. When he dies, I still won't care. I've already done the grieving, but I know that there are things I need to do for my family. So that has been my week, and it has been a big week for just being such a short week. But it's not really a short week, it's just a normal week. But that's what's going on in my world. So did some self-care with psychiatry and going to the dentist. Took some naps this week when I needed to, paying attention to my body, and just trying to navigate parenthood which is already challenging. You can have the most perfect child, and parenting is going to be challenging. I don't have the most perfect child. I love him. He's still the most important thing in my universe. But I told him this week, I said, you have to be good or you're going to be sorry. So, thoughts and prayers. Check on your friends, make sure they're doing okay. I'm really excited to hang out with some people next week that I just have a lot of fun when we go out with. Check on your family, make sure they're doing okay. I know my mom and my sister are worried, and I empathize with their worry. So I'll be someone that they can talk to. Check on yourself. I do an awful lot of that. I do a lot of analyzing why I feel certain ways, why I think certain things, and I think my time in recovery and therapy have definitely given me a lot more insight to my life than I had before, and I'm very grateful for that. So I think that's all I have for y'all today, which is a 20-minute vlog, which is way too long. I would have already been bored and hung up on me by now, but I can go back and watch this later. I will see you all next week. Bye.